Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal coming to you every single day, all throughout our community. Cafe Kubal, some amazing locations on 3501 James Street, the OG location, as well as on 208 North Townsend Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, and out on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners for their newest location, which is their first ever drive-through. So make sure you go over there to Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup up. I get the chai all year long. I get it with mint, I get it with honey, I get it with brown sugar, and now pumpkin spice is back, so you know I'm getting that. Go out and get to your Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup up with whatever your favorites are, as well as try their fantastic desserts, little treats that they have, their breakfasts, and of course, those awesome lunch specials, including the Upstate. So make sure you get out to Cafe Kubal today. Want to thank you all for tuning into the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/livenowdt, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage. So however you're connecting with the show, I thank you so much for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. And once the shows go live, you can check out our archive and get our past shows. If you have a favorite you want to go back and listen to, or you missed something, you can go to Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, YouTube, MixLR, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and more, simply by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And thanks to our proud partners that help to bring amazing, amazing things to our community, Cafe Kubal, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Carvel, DeWitt, as well as Progressive Dental, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Lemoyne Dolphins, PB&J's Lunchbox, Honda City of Liverpool, Mother's Cupboard, and Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, as well as being a proud partner of those Marywood Pacers and the Lemoyne Dolphins. So very, very much appreciate everything that we get to do and bring you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. And today I am wearing my Marywood shirt in honor of, you can't see it here, I gotta stand up and show it to you. There you go. So Marywood track and field and cross country, wearing that today because we have a very special Pacer Pride featuring Rob Ahrens, the men's and women's coach for cross country and track and field at Marywood University, and a multi-time champion in the Atlantic East Conference for Marywood University. So very excited. Today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I'll be featuring Rob Ahrens for the first time ever. And before we get there, we're going to go into our trio of segments that we have every single Friday. We'll start off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll get into, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll be rejoined here by Juanita Ward, my co-host for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver. And Juanita will be joining us to speak on the topic of seeing the rainbow. You know, when you can't have a rainbow without rain. You can't have a rainbow without strife, essentially is what I'm saying, without adversity. And so we talk about seeing the rainbow and what that means to us. And so we'll get into that in just a little bit at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Evan Dourdas will be joining the show, the new head coach of the Manlius Pebble Hill Varsity boys basketball team. Who doesn't know it, maybe he knows it now with the post going out here, but that he's not only coming on the show today, but he's being honored as our top dog of the week. The CNY native and former Syracuse player is here with us today to celebrate his job at Manlius Pebble Hill, as well as being a part of this community, and why he wanted to be here and stay here and help out the young men here in our community. So very excited to have Evan Dourdas on the show to tell his story at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then, like I said, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time today, we will be joined by Mr. Rob Ahrens in our newest edition, our newest segment, on our newest Marywood feature, Pacer Pride. And very, very much looking forward to telling his story and the story of his incredible teams for men's and women's cross country and track and field at Marywood University. You're not going to want to miss this really awesome story from Rob Ahrens. Very excited to tell it and share it with the community. So looking forward to that at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So jam-packed show going on today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to hop right into it and get into the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel, DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and it is here for you right now, as I am always excited to bring you the annoying moment of the week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel, DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week for this week, folks. I mean, there's a few different things I could do, but seeing that, and I want to shout out Ross Turetsky, as you know, has been on the show a lot, and a brother to me, and somebody that I care for and love so very much. Awesome human being. He sent me, he's my unofficial producer, and he sent me a message this week about the fact that, and listen, I am all, let me preface this since this world gets so touchy nowadays. I am all about animal rights. I have a dog. Lily is my family. I treat her as such. I love her completely, and she means the world to me. So with that being said, my annoying moment of the week this week, one of them is the fact that they want to change the name bullpen in baseball to arm barn. Okay? Now, roll with me on this for a second because the idiocy of this world has gotten progressively worse. And one of the things that they want to do is they want to change bullpen to arm barn because of the wonderful things he does. No, because of the fact that a bullpen is where bulls are taken before they're slaughtered. Okay? Now, I understand that the term bullpen in the world of animals is not a great term. But in baseball, we're not killing animals. We're playing a sport. And I think that we've gotten to a place in this world where people are so touchy that if they say that a flavor of Sour Patch Kids offends them, then Sour Patch will consider getting rid of the flavor. Okay? I understand everybody has feelings. I have feelings. But this world has gotten to a place where it is being abused. Feelings are being, I mean, it's to the point where it's insane. A bullpen where bulls are slaughtered, am I excited for that? No. Do I like hearing that? No. Does that make me sad? Of course it does. Because I love every living being. I'm a child of God, and I appreciate the Lord and all of the creations that come from God. With that being said, a bullpen in baseball is a bullpen where pitchers get ready to pitch. And if you call it an arm barn, well, I'm going to throw a feeling back at you. Well, that would mean to me, if a bullpen is where bulls are slaughtered, an arm barn to me sounds like a place where people's arms are cut off and they're thrown and they're held in a barn. It's a barn filled with arms that were cut off and slaughtered. So now I'm offended because I'm a human being and I don't want people's arms cut off. Why don't we call it the Marshmallow Hut? Or will marshmallows' rights be affected by that? Sometimes you just have to call it when you need to call it, okay? And we have gotten to a point in our society where we have gotten ridiculous. If people say that the name Kleenex offends them, then Kleenex might change their name. If tissue makes people feel squirrely, then we'll call it mouth rag. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's becoming ridiculous. And at some point, because listen, there are real things in this world, and this is where I get frustrated. There are real things in this world that are wrong. There are real rights that are being affected. There are real people that are being affected. There are real animals that are being affected. And we're taking the focus off the ball by talking about some of these things that we're talking about. And it's very frustrating for me. So my annoying moment of the week has to be the fact they want to change bullpen to arm barn, because that's just idiotic. And again, I can say to you, if a bullpenner where bulls are slaughtered, then when I hear arm barn, I just picture a bunch of arms piled on top of each other. And that's a slaughterhouse to me. So you can't call it arm barn either. So you got to find another name for it. Why don't you call it the artist formerly known as Prince? Or just make it a symbol. I mean, this is stupid. This has become stupid. Okay? I will stand up for animal rights and human rights always. Always. But renaming a baseball pitching area because it offends animals is ridiculous. Okay? Let me pull Lily and see if she's affected by this. No, she's okay. I mean, come on. Come on. And we have to come to a point in society where we say enough is enough. We just have to say enough is enough. And I'm at a place right now where it's enough for me. So I'm not going to be standing for changing bullpen to arm barn because it offends animals. No, stop it, okay? Because arm barn offends me as a human being. I just picture a bunch of dead body arms sitting there like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what I picture. So, so now we got to change it again. So now what are we going to change it to? Arm Palace? Or does that make you feel like there's an emperor and then there's unequal rights? Do we change it to Arm Palace and it makes people think of, I don't know, a gentleman's club? I have no idea. I don't know. Because what I've learned about life is everybody can be offended by something. And so no matter what you change it to, it's going to be offensive. So I don't know. To me, it's gotten to a point where it's become laughably ridiculous, some of the stuff. And so it's my annoying moment of the week because arm barn? Seriously? Arm barn. Arm barn. If you care so much about animals and you don't want it to be called a pen, then why would you want it to be called a barn? How about arm stretches? How about pitcher practice? Pitcher barn. But then that affects human rights. So, whatever. Seriously, some of this stuff cannot be real. That's how I feel about it. When I read it, I'm like, this can't be real. If this is real, then society's lost its dang mind. So, that's where I'm at. It's my annoying moment of the week. It has to be. My other annoying moment of the week is that I injured my knee and I have no idea how. So, if anybody has any good remedies, I went to my knee doc at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Shout out to Dr. Mark Petropoli. And I don't know what I did. I have no idea what I did. It seems like I strained a muscle and maybe affected a nerve going down my leg. But I've been very uncomfortable, and it got really bad yesterday. So I'm hoping that it'll get better. So if I start to, on video, if I start to bounce around here, just understand why I'm doing it, and that it's not something, it's not like a nervous twitch. I'm just trying to get comfortable. So, that is one of my annoying moments of the week because my obviously you need your legs for things, and my knee, on I don't even know if it was Sunday maybe, where I felt like, it just felt like weird, and I kind of just like went, oh, okay. But I was on a cushion. And then on Tuesday, it hurt when I was coming down the stairs to do my show. And then, yesterday, it just really got worse. And so thankfully, I was able to go up to Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics with Dr. Mark Petropoli on 791 West Genesee Street in Skinny Atlas. And I would implore you to call them. I mean, I've trusted them for a long time, almost a decade. And so I would definitely go up there if I were you. And you can call 315-685-7544 to make an appointment today. It's 315-685-7544. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna tell you about them and give you their phone number and everything, because they've helped me. And so nothing showed up on the X-ray, thank God. Hopefully everything will be okay with any other tests and whatnot. But yeah, it feels like a muscular thing, but it's definitely affected me. So I don't know if I picked up something wrong, or if it was the way I was carrying my equipment, or the way that I slept, but I definitely affected my muscle, and I need to be better about it. So my mom asked if I iced it. Did I ice it? No, I took the medication that they asked me to take, but I didn't ice it because I just wanted to go to bed. So I went to bed earlier yesterday too, which is, I don't feel right when I go to bed, bed early. So I definitely did that yesterday. Went to bed and got myself some much needed rest. So yeah, my annoying moment of the week, because obviously you need your knees for things, and my right knee's been hurting me a little bit here. So I'm hoping to feel better, and massaging it definitely helps. I might put some ice on it today as well, and just take care of it to the best of my ability. But I want to thank the people at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and I want to thank Dr. Mark Petropoli for looking after me and for seeing me on short notice. So I definitely appreciate that very much so. And hopefully we can get this knee feeling back at 100%, because I need that. So with that being said, that is my annoying moment of the week. Changing bullpen to arm barn because it's ridiculous. And it's just ridiculous. And my knee hurting a little bit. That's obviously gone down my leg and affected my foot a little bit here. So hopefully I'll get on the mend here soon. And, I believe in God and healing. And so I pray to God that I'll be healed completely and for good. And, and I'll do what doctor asked me to do. And I'll take care of myself on the side of what I can control. So hopefully things will get better, and we'll be back to normal very soon here. And I appreciate any prayers or well wishes, and thank you for that. And I ask you to send out prayers to my dad, who needs surgery, and he's going to be out 16 weeks. So say a prayer for my dad as he's dealing with his own injury as well, and unfortunately has to have some surgery. So pray for my pop that he'll be okay. So with that being said, let's keep everybody safe and healthy. Mom, Dad, everybody, myself. Let's all get on the mend, and let's be well and stay well, okay, folks? So with that being said, we'll take a step aside. This has been your annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and I appreciate everybody who goes out to Carvel DeWitt. They are open year-round, because no matter how cold it gets, don't let the cold weather fool you. That fantastic flavor that you love at Carvel is always going to be there for you, with awesome cakes, as well as their dashers, their sundaes, their spooktacular Halloween-centric sundaes that they have now. And, of course, you have the Orange Dream, which is my spin on an orange creamsicle as a sundae and as a shake. You can get it exclusively at Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal Studios. We'll be back right after this with Juanita Ward in lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. That's proudly coming to you from Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets life.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, also being shared on facebook.com/livenowdt. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal, located on 3501 James Street, 208 North Townsend Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, as well as inside of Galisanos Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, and in Manlius on 343 Fayette Street, in that giant brown straight building that looks like coffee being poured right as you enter into Manlius. It's essentially the Manlius Welcome Center is Cafe Kubal on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and you can also find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-thru location. So head out to Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup with your favorites. I know that I'm getting my pumpkin spice chai because that's how I do. So I love the chai at Cafe Kubal, and the pumpkin spice is fantastic. They make all their syrups and different, their syrups, their spices, everything is made in-house, and it's fantastic. So make sure you go out and get that today. And we're awaiting Juanita Ward coming up here, and Greg said, so disappointed that I missed your bullpen rant live. Good stuff. It's so ridiculous. So I guess Greg went back and watched it here. It is ridiculous, you know? It's ridiculous. So as we await Juanita to come on here, don't give me 5 more minutes to talk about this stuff, but I mean, you know, and why in society, you know, what does it say in our, you know, in our amendments? What's our First Amendment? Our First Amendment rights. The freedom of speech. The freedom of speech, of religion, of assembly, yada, yada, yada. The freedom to be who we are, to believe what we want to believe, to say what we want to say. And that doesn't mean go out there and be hateful and negative, but you have the freedom to speak your mind. You know? Free speech. People. Free speech. It's important. You know, and for some odd reason, speech is only free until somebody doesn't want you to say something, and then they try to shut you up. And that is a form of dictatorship. When free speech goes away, so do your rights. So, speak freely, okay? People have the right to say we should change it to arm barn. And I have the right to say that that's stupid. That's so crazy. Arm barn. Are you kidding? Jacob deGrom is out in the arm barn right now getting ready for a party. You know, I mean, like, no. He's getting ready in the bullpen, right? And obviously, this bullpen is not the bullpen of animals, okay? I understand that a term might bother somebody. I get that, okay? But what are we going to do now? Are we going to go to every team that has an animal mascot and make them change it because the animals didn't sign off on it? They can no longer be the Detroit Lions. The Lions and the tribe have spoken. And out in the wild, the Lions have decided that they do not want to be connected to a city like Detroit because they don't agree with what Detroit is currently doing on the football field. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Can UAB not be the Dragons anymore because they're mythical creatures and we have to live in reality? Even though some people think dragons are real. But, I mean, what is this world coming to? Are you going to have to change Siena's name, the Siena Saints, because St. Bernard's rights matter, and they feel, you know, and dogs feel affected by the fact that they're being utilized to make money for Siena? I mean, this is stupid. This is really stupid. And you know it, and I know it. And Lily knows it. Hey, Lil. She's off camera. Lily, are you okay? Are you okay with bullpen? Are you good with that? She's just staring at me. She's like, Daddy, this is a stupid question. She just blinked. But, I mean, for real, though, this is crazy. It's crazy ridiculous. I'm trying to think of something else that would be called something else. Like, okay, the penalty box, right? Well, penalty is a negative connotation, even though you're getting a penalty. So why don't we change it to the big boy timeout and the big girl timeout? You know, I mean, or to the ice box. But then ice will be offended because, you know, ice is water too. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, society. Listen, I thought we were getting somewhere when we were focusing on equal rights for African Americans, on equal rights for Hispanics, on equal rights for women. I thought we were getting somewhere with that. And now we've just gone out into left field, and I'm just waiting for them to say we can't pick pumpkins anymore because pumpkins don't want to be handled. They want, you know, like pumpkins. What was the one thing that there was a babysitter who was asking an infant that could not speak yet if she could change their diaper because she wasn't allowed, because she didn't want to offend or affect the rights of the baby. So the baby's sitting there with stuff in their diaper, and the babysitter wouldn't change the diaper without the baby saying, yes, you can change my diaper. And the baby can't speak yet. So what, do you just leave the baby in filth for 2 years? Is there human rights involved in that? I mean, in what world do you ask a baby, can I change... Blah, blah. Can I change your diaper? Blah. You know what I mean? Like, what the... Really? Really? Like... And why does this not make people go crazy in their brains? You know? You got to speak up in society when you hear this wackadoo nonsense. You have to ask a baby if they feel comfortable with you changing them because you have to, because they're naked when you do it. So because you don't want to offend them or make them feel, you know, uncomfortable. You know what makes me uncomfortable? If there was stuff in my diaper. You know, if my mom and my dad were like, honey, do you want us to change your diaper? You have to say yes or no, or else mommy and daddy are going to leave you in this pile of poo. Like, I mean, at what point do we I mean, you know, it's almost like getting it out of my lungs, into my throat, and out of my mouth. It almost makes my body physically angry just to say this stuff to you. But this is where we are as a society. We didn't care about everybody. Then we started to open our minds up to the fact of, okay, there's people being treated unfairly. We need to care. And there's been people that have been, you know, disrespected and you know, there's been prejudice forever. There was prejudice against Italians. There's prejudice against Catholics, against Jews, against, you know, black, white, brown, blue. I mean, there have been prejudice undertones of society forever, and overtones at times. And I thought we were getting to a place where My friends that are African American could feel safe. My friends that are gay and straight can feel safe. My friends that are, every color of the rainbow can feel safe. That speak all different languages can feel safe. That have all different types of money and backgrounds can feel safe. And now we've gotten to arm barn and asking an infant at 2 months old if you can change their diaper. And the sad thing about it is when you make it this laughable, people forget the actual original thought of equality, and then we just end up in society just back where we were, if not worse. So let's keep our eye on the ball and let's start helping people, please, and let's start doing real stuff for real people, because I can't deal with this stuff anymore. It's ridiculous. With that being said, we're going to jump into Lead with Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. I'm very happy to have my sister back on the broadcast here with me, and it means the world to me to have her back here. Miss Juanita Ward, inside of Lead. Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is what the acronym LEAD stands for. It was created back on December 2019. I fully blame God for that because it was right before the pandemic hit America, and I came up with this segment and said I want to do a faith-based segment called Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver that are welcome to everybody, and the acronym's going to be LEAD, and I want to do it with my sis Juanita, and then the whole world stopped, and learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering on our promises is exactly what we've needed to do this last year and a half, even more so. So I want to thank God for giving me the idea, and I want to thank Juanita for being a part of it. Proudly brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Sis, how we doing?
Hey Dan, how are you?
We're doing very well, and first and foremost, I would be remiss if I didn't say to you that, obviously our prayers and our well wishes are with you and with your family on the passing of your sister, and I just want you to know, above all things, before we talk about anything today, that you're loved, you're appreciated, and if all my listeners and viewers and whoever's connected to Wake Up Call, it can just take a moment of silence here to remember Juanita's sister. And with that, Juanita, I welcome you to the show, and I hope that your family is doing the best they can, and I send you my love as always.
Thank you so much.
So as we get started here today, we're focusing on the topic, seeing the rainbow, and realizing the fact that it must rain before we can get a rainbow. There must be strife and there must be adversity before we get to see the beauty. And so many of us want to get to the rainbow. We want to see all the colors. We want to see it in the sky. It's majestic beauty. And we forget that you have to go through bad weather to get to it. And so, Juanita, I open that up to you on what seeing the rainbow means to you, fully knowing that in order to see the majesty of the rainbow, we must first go through the storm.
Well, in life, there's always going to be so many ups and downs, and the most important thing is, how do you keep your focus? How do you keep your focus when life happens? How do you keep your focus when certain things happen in your life? And in order to get to the beauty of the rainbow, how do you stay on course? How do you stay in the right frame of mind when things start to seem as though they're not ever going to change? How do you stay the course? You have to keep the faith and believe that something is going to change. You have to keep the faith and trust in God, knowing that He's going to make a way. Most importantly, you have to keep the faith and believe and trust that all things work together through the good and the bad. Even when it seems like there's absolutely nothing that's going to happen, all things work together. All things are going to be good. Because in order to get through the storm, in order to get to that, you have to be able to have tough skin. You have to be able to feel your way through it. You have to be able to see your way through it, because if we don't take the time to trust the process, we'll miss a valuable lesson trying to hurry up and get through to get to the other side. In order for us to grow, in order for us to become wiser, and we have to go through the process of life. We have to go through each step. You cannot skip a step trying to rush and get to the rainbow. You have to make sure that you go through it. Because when life happens, God doesn't just give it to us just so that we can hurry up and get through the process. He allows us to go through every step. I'm reminded of Peter. When Peter stepped out of the boat, he was walking on the water when Jesus called him out. And he was literally walking on water. But when Peter took his eyes off of Jesus, he started to sink. That's definitely something that we can all take in today's time. Don't take your eyes off of Jesus trying to fix the storm. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your focus on the main thing, and you'll see your way. God will see you through anything, because all things work together to the good and the bad. And if we want to reach our destination, we have to keep focus.
Yeah, and it's very well said and very well put. That is, like you brought up, the fact of walking on water and, and Jesus saying, "Come to me." And the moment that, you look down, and how many times have we done that? How many times have we had faith and we think to ourselves, "Oh my God, I'm walking on a cloud. I'm walking on the water. I'm walking on air. I'm somehow getting there. I don't know how I'm getting there." And then we look down, right? We look down and say, "This isn't possible." And then we fall. And I tell people all the time, fear is the devil's lie. And Juanita always tells you it's false evidence appearing real. So, to me it is. It's the devil's lie. That's who wants you to look down and say, "Oh, I can't do this. Oh, how am I doing this? This is impossible." But how many times in your life, and hopefully you've had this experience, I have, where it's been superhuman, where something has happened and I thought to myself, this could not be possible. This could not have happened this way. Something somebody says, something that happens in life that just makes you feel like God in that moment was like, "Hey, I got you. Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing, man? You good?" And those moments of walking on water, we have to keep our focus forward. We have to. You can't look down and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm walking on water." You have to trust it, because so many things in life are not going to make sense. So many things in life are going to be really, really difficult. And if we focus on the world, what do they tell you? The more secular you become, the more you get taken away from yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't care about the world. It doesn't mean you don't live in the world. It doesn't mean that you're in this world, but this is not your world to stay in forever. This is your hotel room before you go home. And I don't know how y'all are, but I treat my hotel room with respect, right? When I'm done with my towels, I put them in the pile that they asked for so that they can wash them. I make sure I keep the area clean and nice. So you treat your hotel room, aka the world, well, but understand that this ain't your home. This is not your forever place. This is your temporary place. And I feel like the more secular we become and fall into, the more we lose ourselves when we become so focused on everything but faith. It's easy. It is so easy to take your eye off the ball, especially today with everything just kind of flowing in front of you, just information everywhere. But there's a danger to a secular life that forgets that we came from somewhere. We came from someone, and we're going back there. And that is where I want this world to rethink itself. and stop becoming so secular and forget about their faith, forget about their love, forget about where they come from, and to start keeping their eye on the ball again and realizing you can fly, you can walk on water. It may be a figurative means of saying that, but you can. You just have to believe it.
You know, Dan, I'm thinking about the how can we keep our eyes on the main thing? Yeah. And you mentioned about faith, and you mentioned about fear, and it was so well put how you said it. You mentioned about faith, and you mentioned about fear, and you also said that we're at a hotel, and I appreciate how you said that because that was so poetic, actually. And I appreciate that, man. So let me find out you're a comedian and a poetic, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And this is true. Sometimes we forget that we're just visiting, and we have to do everything that we can do to serve our purpose, because it is in the purpose that we find our true calling. What do we feel so passionate about? And sometimes in the midst of us feeling passionate about wanting to change a situation to make sure that there's a better situation, we sometimes get caught up in fear. And you said it. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. And if we can learn how to articulate and switch our mind over to believe that if we just have faith enough to see where we're going, first we have to visualize where we're going. Visualization is so important. Just like when people say that it's important to meditate. Well, if I can meditate on what I am going to do, then I must have a visual of what I'm going to do, because meditation and visual are basically the same thing. They're really close twins, if you will, right? And so if I'm going to have a visualization, I first have to meditate. I'm reminded where in the Bible it says meditate on these things day and night. Never take your mind off of it. Meditate on the word. Meditate on the word. Meaning think about it. Dwell on it. Meditate on the word day and night, so that you don't take your mind off of the prize, so that you don't see everything else around you. Because if you can start to make your mind see that there's always going to be something good. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, why are you always smiling? Why are you always happy? Because if I wake up with the attitude of defeat, the rest of the day is going to be defeated. Today has what it has in it, and God has given us enough grace and mercy to be sufficient throughout this day. So why wake up with the mindset of defeat when I can wake up with the mindset of complete, of a champion, a mindset of happiness, a mindset of a winner? I don't want to be a victim of today. I want to be victorious in today. So in order to achieve, in order to understand life and reach my destination and succeed in this day, I have to first understand that there is no fear that's going to attach to me. I have to have faith that God is going to see me through. No matter what may comes my way, I'm going to reach my destination. I'm going to reach my goal, because I'm going to make it to the other side.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, staying focused, like you said, reaching the other side, believing that you can, believing that you will, not taking your eye off of it. Listen, life is, in a lot of ways, a basketball game, right? There's going to be different things that full court press you. There's going to be somebody on you trying to take the ball away. There's always going to be defense, right? Adversity. Someone's always going to be playing defense on you. They don't want you to make the shot. But in a basketball game and on a basketball team, you're going to have teammates, right? You're going to have your family and your friends, your supporters, the people that love you. People in the stands, there's going to be people in the stands booing you. That's life. There's going to be people in the stands cheering for you. That's life. Your teammates are your friends and your family. That team you're playing against, sometimes it's you. Sometimes the devil himself. Sometimes it's just life. But are you going to be too afraid to take the shot? Are you going to be too afraid to do what you need to do, to go for that steal, to grab that ball, to get 3 seconds left on the clock, call timeout, and make a plan? And then understand that that plan doesn't work. And the person that you were trying to get the shot to, they're being guarded right now. So now you got to trust in somebody else. Life is like the game of basketball. There's always going to be defense. There's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be adversity. There's always going to be nerves. There's always going to be a little bit of can I, can't I. Those thoughts are going to be there. Those negative people in the stands are going to be there. That defense is going to be there. But are you going to be willing to take the ball, trust in your team, trust in your coach, God, and go after this plan and make a play? Life is basketball. Basketball is life. Are you willing to take the shot? And are you willing to drown out the noise and believe that your practice and your preparation, your studying and your determination is going to be enough to get you there? Michael Jordan believed he could fly. Do you?
Take the proper steps and never take your eyes off the prize. You have purpose in each step, and each step gives you a different understanding on what you need to achieve in order to succeed. If you believe that you can fly, do it. Because the only thing that's stopping you from achieving your goal, the only thing that's stopping you from reaching that rainbow is doubt, unbelief, and fear. And the most important thing that just completely destroys all three of those is faith. The only way we're able to succeed in this is we have to have faith and believe and keep our eyes on the prize. Because whatever we dwell on, whatever we think about, that starts to become our reality. So if we allow doubt, fear, and unbelief to control us, you will never succeed. But when you allow faith to walk it out, you'll walk by faith and not by sight. Dan, thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope that we touch just one person's life. I hope that just one person eats from what we're talking about. I hope just one person sees what we're talking about. And I truly hope that we have created a mental visual that will completely seep down into each and every person and water the seed that's on the inside of them. Because we all have a seed, and we all have a way of watering it. Speak life. Speak those things as though they were. In order to have what you say, you have to first believe it, and you got to have faith. I think it's better to walk by faith instead of to run, because things in life are not given to the weak, but they're given to the ones that can endure the race, knowing that you're going to be hit with everything. You are going to have tests and trials. But if you can endure, you will reap a crown. Change your mindset. Change how you see things. Change how you hear things. Change how you speak things. And in order to reach that rainbow, start seeing and believing differently. Do the good, have faith. Do the bad, have faith. Because the common denominator between the two, all things work together. Trust and believe. I can, I will succeed. If you continue to say it all the time, it is a declaration. It is most definitely a decree. And if you say it, you will soon start to believe it. Dan, thank you so much for having me on the show.
As always, sis, I love you. I send you all the positivity in the world. And I know we're changing lives every single day because God wouldn't put us together if we weren't. So thank you for everything, and stay safe and stay well. And I'll talk with you soon.
Thank you.
That coming from Miss Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We'll be back here right after this fast break as we announce our top dog of the week, Evan Dourdas, the new head coach of Manlius Pebble Hills varsity boys basketball team. Right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hanging out with you inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal here with you in our community on 3501 James Street. as well as 208 North Townsend Street and 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, New York. They're in downtown Syracuse, minutes from the Dome, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital. And you'll also find them in Manlius on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And, of course, you will find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location. We are now to our segment, the Top Dog of the Week, the third of our trio of segments that comes to you every single TGIF, every Friday. And this is proudly brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. So it is my honor and my privilege to announce this week's Top Dog. And that is Evan Dourdas. Evan Dourdas here with us, a CNY native, as well as played on the Syracuse team, was a member of the Syracuse Orange men's basketball team, and has now been announced in early October as the new boys varsity head coach when it comes to basketball at MPH, Manlius Pebble Hill. I am so, it's awesome news when I saw it and I saw the picture, which I think was really an awesome take here, really cool way to show the gym and show Evan and whatnot. I'm so ecstatic for Evan and everything that he'll get to do here as the new coach. So it's a beautiful thing. It's an awesome thing. And it's my honor and my privilege to announce Evan Dourdas as the top dog of the week for this week in our community. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, two tremendous places led by people who are CNY natives with just a fantastic group of people, and with Lorraine Perry and Chad and Heather and everyone there. So a great community place, great community guy, getting a great community job. So it all comes together today in the Top Dog of the Week as we honor Evan Dourdas. And let's bring him into the show as he is live with us. Thought he was here for an interview, a conversation, but before we have that, I wanted to honor him as this week's spotlight person in our community as the Top Dog of the Week. So congratulations, Evan, and welcome to the show.
Hey, Dan, thanks for having me. I appreciate being out here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And Evan, first and foremost for you, just bring me into your road, from your time at Syracuse to where you are today. Catch people up on what your journey's been like to get to Manlius Pebble Hill.
Well, it was a good, long journey. I started at Janesville DeWitt High School, played for Bob McKinney, one of the best coaches to come out of New York State. So I had a good start with that coaching. And then when I graduated high school, I got to Syracuse, and it was a very good family vibe when I got there, knowing the Boeheims already and being around the program as a kid growing up. So when I got to Syracuse, everything it kind of fit in perfect. I kind of fit in perfectly, I felt like, because they have a very good environment up there. They run it very professionally, and the coaching staff is unbelievable. And it's very tight-knit. They keep everything tight-knit, family. So that type of family vibe is something that stuck with me forever and will stick with me forever. And I kind of want to bring that to Manlius Pebble Hill. And we have big plans. Me and my father, we plan to do a lot with the program and the school, academically and athletically. So,
and you bring up your father, Pete, and just what's it been like for you and him? Why do you want to do so much for Manlius Pebble Hill specifically? And just going to your dad, because your dad's been involved there for a while. So just, the connection that your father has there, and why your family really wants to build up Manlius Pebble Hill specifically.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely appreciative. I first want to thank Mr. O'Malley for the opportunity. Definitely Manlius Pebble Hill is giving me my first coaching opportunity, so I'm forever grateful for that, and I'll always be appreciative to them. So Mr. O'Malley, the athletic director at Manlius Pebble Hill, he's also a teacher and he coaches soccer. He was really, I felt like he was on my side. He was really a good help for me, and he believes in me, so I'm very appreciative of that. And then I got to meet with Mr. McCusker, who's the head of school, and they just really have a great administration. They're going the right route academically and athletically. So I just feel like the family vibe they have there at Manlius Pebble Hill, I kind of want to do right by them, because they've been doing right to my family so far. So like everything has been great, and I got to meet with a lot of them at the administration. Matthew Spear, Fred Montas, Donald Rodell, Mrs. Hoke. So it was their administration. They're going in the right direction, and I'm glad to be a part of it and for them to believe in me. And then going back to my father, he's the modified coach there. So, and they let us use their gym. They rent it out to us. So they have like a very good relationship with us, and they treat everybody well. They're very professional, and it's just a good atmosphere. And we connected, and hopefully we're gonna take it even further now.
Speaking here with Evan Dourdas, our top dog of the week here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and the new head coach of the varsity boys basketball team at Manlius Pebble Hill. What do you see with the team, as you got the job in early October, and here we are at the tail end of October? What can you tell me about what Manlius Pebble Hill is going to look like this year as far as your talent stepping in the community, and just what it all looks like up at MPH right now?
Right now, it looks like a lot of hard work. We've been putting in a lot of work right now with who we have. It's going to be different. We're bringing a different culture, different atmosphere. We're bringing the family, like I said earlier, the family vibe, very family. But we're going to be strategic. We're going to be up tempo. We're going to play a lot of defense. We're going to really focus on the defensive end this year. But we're just going to play basketball the right way, fundamentally sound. We're gonna work harder than everybody else. We're gonna be in better shape than everybody else. We're gonna play basketball the right way, and we're gonna really, I've had the opportunity to play for some good coaches. My father, Coach McKinney, Coach Boeheim. So I feel like all of the lessons they taught me, and the plays, and the X's and the O's and the practice plans, I feel like that's gonna be able to rub off on me coaching at Manlius Pebble Hill. And I'm glad I'm able to do that. So. It's just right now we're just working hard. We got some kids coming back. We got the Wild Hacks. We got a kid named Q. We got big man Kevin. We got a bunch of guys, but right now we just got to focus on the drills, the fundamentals, the practice, really locking in as a team. And like I said, I keep saying that it's all about the team. We're gonna make it very team oriented because I feel like that's very important. You have to have a good relationship with all the other teammates. So we're just working hard right now, and we're just gonna be ready. We'll be ready this year. It's gonna be different. MPH is gonna be different this year. So I think we're excited, but I think people are excited. So I'm excited too.
Here with Evan Dourdas of MPH for the varsity boys basketball team, their head coach. You said you have the Wildcats. That name is obviously more commonplace here in Syracuse over the last couple of years. What's it like having them?
They're great kids, great family, great mother, great father. They work hard. They're very competitive, and it's just great to be around them. They're very funny. They're very energetic, and it's a great vibe. Like I said, it's that family-oriented team we want, and that's the vibe we're going for, and it's been going well. So it's great. They're both great leaders. Tommy's a senior, he'll probably be one of our captains, so he's definitely taken a leadership role so far in preseason. And then James is a very good shooter. I think people will be surprised with his game. He's a junior, and I think they both have a lot of potential for the year, and I'm expecting them to do big things. So I'm excited.
And for you, Evan, what do you think makes you a good head coach? Why do you think you're prepared for this job?
I think because I'm kind of able to relate right now with the kids. I'm still kind of young, and I played with a lot of guys in different backgrounds, environments. I've been through a lot of different basketball routes, everything. So I feel like I'm able to connect with kids. I feel like that's why you see a lot of former players doing well coaching. You see a lot at Syracuse, all former players. A lot of these players are able to connect. They know what these kids go through. They can understand them. They can relate to the mental health issues they'll go through during the season. So it's all relatable. And I feel like I could bring that, and then I can bring some energy and the knowledge with the help of my father. I think all the time, all those drills I did, all the training I've gotten, I think that would be able to correlate well with what we're trying to do at MPH.
Yeah, and like you said, being able to relate and whatnot to the kids. What's the most important thing, in your opinion, of being a head coach right now? What would you consider to be the most important kind of tool to have in your toolbox for coaching today's youth?
I think the biggest thing is you just need to be able to understand the kids and just be able to really like understand them in a way that other people might not be able to, because at the end of the day we're a team and we have to build those relationships off the court and on the court to be successful. So I feel like just me being able to understand these kids and speaking with them, maybe talk about mental health issues they might be going through, and then being able to tell them like, okay, this is what we have to do on the court. I've done this before. I could tell you, okay, this might be wrong, this might be right. Then they could take that advice into consideration from there, and it might benefit them. But I just feel like when you're a coach, you have to really just be player-oriented. You have to be hands-on. You have to understand your player. You have to know them. You can't really just go through emotions. You can't just act like you don't really care. You have to show them that you care, and it has to be genuine. And I just love basketball so much, and so that genuine spirit is already there. So I just love being in the gym. I love being around the kids. Just love getting better and teaching. So it's a great opportunity. I'm very thankful. So
yeah, and for you, being connected to Syracuse University, Demetrius Nichols is back. Eric Devendorf is back. Ryan Blackwell is back. You're back. Obviously, Jerry's here. Alan Griffin, Adrian Autry, Coach B. I mean, Central and Upstate New York is literally becoming Syracuse Orange alumni literally everywhere. I mean, it's kind of spreading in a positive way. What are your thoughts on that? That when you look around the community and you look to Syracuse University itself, or you look to Liverpool, or you look to MPH, that you're seeing these Syracuse alumni all return to the community, whether or not they grew up here?
Yeah, no, I think a lot has to do with the Boeheims, especially Judy Boeheim and Coach, because they bring that family atmosphere. They're very welcoming. They do everything for the players. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't really know about. So, and they still help players to this day. So I think that type of always be there for you mentality is why these guys want to stay here and come back and help the community, because the Boeheims are here and they're here with open arms. Like, they let me use their home gym whenever I want. They'll leave Mrs. Dame will leave the door open for me, and I mean that's like the nicest thing ever. I'm so appreciative of stuff like that. So like just being that type of family type of thing with the Boeheims, I think that has a lot to do with why these guys come back and they want to help the community. I mean, Devo, he's one of the best players to play in a Cuse uniform. He's a great coach. Ryan Blackwell, he's an unbelievable coach too. So I mean, all these guys, all this kind of starts with Syracuse and the Boeheims and just putting this in the air, and just, I mean, I'm just very appreciative of the Syracuse University family and what the university has done for me and the Boeheims. So I mean, it's great to see everything fall into place.
You talked about, Jim and Julie Boeheim and how they care for, student athletes and do a lot that's not seen. We hear about Jim Boeheim all the time. We don't get to talk a lot about Julie, and I think we should talk about Julie more because she is such a big part of the community. What can you say about the effect that Julie Boeheim has had on your life?
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Boeheim, she's been there for me since day one, since I was 8 years old, honestly. She brought me on trips with them to Vegas. We went to the USA qualifiers. She's literally been another mother to me since I was a kid, especially when I was going through alopecia. She was there for me. She was understanding, especially when we would go to the game. She would bring me, like, it was just like she's just another mother to me. So, and she's just very loving and appreciative and genuine, and that genuine rubs off on people, and people just want to be near her and talk to her and be around her because she's such a great woman. And I mean, I'm just so grateful for her. I'm thankful for her. I tell her that every time I see her, and I always will be, because of the stuff she's done for me. And she's really like the backbone of the program, I believe, because she's like the behind the scenes. She does a lot. She communicates with the team's families. She does a lot, and I don't think she gets enough credit that she deserves. And she does a lot for the community, the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation. She's really like an unbelievable woman. So I mean, I love her very much. So I'm very thankful for her. She does a lot for the community and the program.
It's Evan Dourdas here being awarded our top dog of the week, presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Evan, the new coach of the Manlius Pebble Hill Varsity Boys Basketball Program. And speaking on Julie Boeheim, you said that she, reaches out to the players' families and whatnot. What can you tell us about, the day-to-day of Julie, as far as it connects with the team? What does she do to reach out? How does she connect with the families? I'd love to learn more about Julie because you've spoken so highly of her today, and I feel like you said, she doesn't get enough credit. We don't discuss it enough. And, she's half of the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation. She's obviously a big part of what, they do to raise money, what they do to help people in our community and beyond. So, what can you say about what Julie does to leave her mark on the program? As we know that, Coach B has definitely left his mark. How does she leave her mark?
She just leaves her mark by just being there for the kids and just being a great, figure behind the scenes. I mean, with all due respect to her, I don't really want to speak too much on what she does because she doesn't really make it public. So I don't like to put her business out there. But she does a lot for the program. She's very hands-on with the kids. She helps her kids. She's just doing what she has to do. I'm not really sure how she goes about everything because she's kind of discreet. I don't like to put people's business out there. But she's very helpful to the program. Just to say that.
And so for you, to have people like Julie Boeheim that's obviously helped you and Coach B and whatnot, who else would you say is a mentor that maybe you pull from or somebody that you appreciate in the community that you're going to utilize something that they've said to you or a connection that you made? Who's someone else in the community and maybe somebody that you met in just your journey in general that you consider a mentor that you can pull from to help you with this new job at MPH?
I would definitely say Billy Edelin. I was probably 10 years old when I started training with him. He played on the championship team at Syracuse, and he's just been like a big brother to me my whole entire life. Just really trained me the right way, taught me the right stuff, and really gave me that college type of vision of what will happen at the next level and real experiences and just real life advice. And that's something I liked a lot because he was really a player and he really played at Syracuse and he won and he did all of that. So that's someone I looked up to because I know whatever he told me was because he really did that and he really made his mark on the court. And I just have utmost respect for Billy. I talk to him, every couple of weeks. He's just a good guy. His energy is always on 100%, and I'm very thankful for Billy.
And Billy Edelin, like you said, you mentioned him and his importance in your life. What should we know about Billy Edelin and about what he's maybe done himself in his life on his journey? Because he's a name that obviously means something to me growing up watching him play. What else can you say to us about maybe the effect that Billy Edelin's had on your life and maybe how you define him as a person?
I define Billy as one of the most respectable figures in Syracuse, honestly, because in the basketball world, people go to Billy for everything, and Billy doesn't take credit for much. He just stays behind the scenes. He stays under the radar. He doesn't care about the press, the articles, all that extra stuff. He just wants to help kids get better. Genuinely, there's all of the kids that came out of Syracuse that went to Division I were all Billy Edelin kids. So a lot of those kids are all, if you look at Micah, he's at Cincinnati. Charles is at Bryant. Buddy is at Syracuse. Just to name a couple, he has all these kids are him. Willow Mika's at Albany. So all these kids are Billy's kids, and a lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't really know that, and because he just stays under the radar. And Billy's I think it's mostly Billy. He's just authentic. He's just honest. He's real. He's not going to BS you. He's just, everything he says to you is you just catch that vibe that he's being authentic to you. He's not trying to lie to you. He's not trying to do anything wrong. He's just a good person with good intentions. So I was always grateful for having Billy in my life.
So, Evan, before we hop out of here, and I appreciate those words on Billy Edelin as well as on Julie Boeheim and all the things you've shared with us today. Before we hop out of our conversation this morning, as you're being honored as our top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, I want to do something with you on the show that I've had for a long time called Rapid Fire. It allows the opportunity to put you on the hot seat on a bunch of random questions that have nothing to do with basketball, but in the spirit of fairness, you get to put me on the hot seat as well. So we're going to do a trio apiece, 3 and 3. I'm going to defer to you first and let you start. You can ask me anything in the world, and we'll go back and forth.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? It's so hard for me to pick this. I always want to say Liar Liar because I love Jim Carrey, but you know I'm a bigger fan of Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, so I'm gonna say Mrs. Doubtfire, but a close tie with it would be the original Home Alone.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one.
All right, for you, favorite rapper ever in the history of hip hop?
That's a tough one. I'm definitely a big Meek Mill fan, honestly.
Okay.
Really big Meek Mill fan.
Okay. So you're going to go with Meek.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, what's your second one for me?
Scariest, let me think. The worst fear to, like, on vacation, what would your biggest fear be of happening?
My biggest fear on vacation, I would say, my biggest fear on vacation, I'd probably say, if I went to like an island or something like that. Well, first and foremost, I just saw the movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan. It's not a good movie, but it's a little creepy about like the island and stuff. But I would say my biggest probably, I'm not going to call it a fear, but I'm going to say my biggest crazy thought would be that, like, you know, some type of like animal or plant or something would like attack me and give me some type of virus, and then I'd have to get rid of it somehow. And so I would probably say it would be something crazy like that. But yeah, I don't think I really have much anything. I travel a lot and I'm used to it. I'm used to traveling by myself, so I'm pretty cool with everything. But I'd probably say if I went to like some island or like somewhere in Mexico, and you know there's just like weird ruins and stuff, I'd think like some bug or something like crawled inside of me and came home with me or something like that. So
No, that makes sense.
that'd be my most illogical, irrational thought. You know, I want to stick with that, and I want to say what. But in that world, what were you most afraid of as a child?
Probably drowning. I didn't like pools. I was scared of swimming sometimes, so I was always nervous about drowning.
Okay. Did you have like an episode of where you almost drowned or something, or no?
Yeah, one time I was with my brother. I was like 10 years old, and he had my legs, and my back was in the water, so I was like getting dragged with my head in the water, and I couldn't, and I just felt like I was about to die, and so I just ever since then I was like, I don't really want to swim.
Yeah. So okay, well that's fair enough, and your brother should be nicer to you. So, but
we were just clowning around though, just kidding.
no, I know. What's your last one for me?
Your favorite peaceful place?
Wow, I've never been asked that question. I love that question. My favorite peaceful place. I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say Walt Disney World, because always been there since I was a kid, and it is a nice, happy, peaceful place for me. And I would also say my studio. So very peaceful in my studio. Also, anytime that I sing and I work on music, that's very, very peaceful for me too. So I'm gonna say music, studio, kind of together on that, and Walt Disney World.
Yeah, those are definitely peaceful places. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw one at you. I want to stick with Halloween. I'm gonna give you a two-parter though. Favorite Halloween candy and favorite Halloween movie.
I'm a big chocolate guy, so if I could scoop up some Dove chocolate, which is very rare, I'd take Dove chocolate. But I like M&M's, honestly. I love M&M's, and yeah. And then my Halloween movie. There's a lot of Halloween movies. I don't even know. I saw one the other day. I can't remember what it's called. Honestly, I'm stuck with that question. It's an easy question, but I'm stuck. I don't know. Can you hit me with another one?
Yeah, let me. Okay, so you chose Dove chocolate. Why don't you rank your top 3 favorite candy of all time?
Dove chocolate, Lindt chocolate, and I gotta go with Skittles.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Threw me a curveball. You're chocolate, and Skittles, but they go hand in hand. M&M's and Skittles go together for some reason. They just do. So.
Yeah, that's true.
So that coming from Evan Dourdas, our top dog of the week, being honored here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, your new head coach for the Varsity Boys basketball team at MPH Manlius Pebble Hill. Evan, I appreciate having you on today. It was awesome, and I would love to have you back here on the show and continue to tell your story. If you let me do it, I'd love to have you back on the broadcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You do a really good job, so I'm appreciative to be on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm grateful. I'm thankful, so I'll do it anytime you need me.
All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate those kind words, and that mean the world to me. Very humbled by that, so thank you for that, and keep doing you and keep fighting the good fight, and I look forward to MPH doing some great things in the community, and I'll be following you win, lose, or draw. So I hope you win more than you lose, but I'll be there no matter what in your corner, and definitely we'll have you back on the show very soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you ever want to come to a game, just let me know. And if you ever want to talk to any of the guys, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make that happen, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. That coming from Evan Dourdas one more time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We will be back here right after this fast break as we get set to have an awesome edition of Pacer Pride. You thought that everything we did up to this point made your Friday? We're about to make your Friday right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Shout out to Evan Dourdas. Awesome time. Very kind words from him. They hit my heart. I'm going to keep them there. And I appreciate everything that he had to say. Our top dog of the week, Evan Dourdas. God bless. And we appreciate you much, Evan. And we'll be back right after this fast break inside the Cafe Kubal Studios. Very, very honored by our top dog of the week, Mr. Evan Dourdas. We'll be back after this fast break on Wake Up Call. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying. In the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Hello everyone and welcome back to a very special episode of Pacer Pride. You'll only find these exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Inside Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and our multimedia marketing partnership with Marywood University, my alma mater. I'm here today in our Pacer Pride Spotlight Special with Rob Ahrens. Rob Ahrens here with us today of men's and women's cross country and track and field. Rob, it's a pleasure to have you. Very excited for the opportunity to have you on the show for the first time.
Thank you. I'm very excited myself.
So what you all see some of behind us, but not all of them because there's way too many to fit on camera, and I'll just read them off here, as we have the 2018 men's cross country champions, 2018 women's cross country champions, 2019 men's cross country, 2019 women's cross country, both champions, 2019 women's track and field, 2019 men's track and field champions, and then we have the 2021 men's track and field and women's track and field champions of the Atlantic East. So, in just a very short amount of time, and obviously 2020, you couldn't compete, or else we would have more banners. So, basically, all the years that you've been competing in the Atlantic East, you've been champions. Thoughts on the fact that you have definitely made your presence known in this Atlantic East Conference?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting time for me, stepping into the program. It's a relatively new program on the track and field side of things. Cross country has had a much longer history here. The women's cross country team qualified for nationals in 2013. But for me to be able to step in, I started in the fall of 2018. And to have the core already there, and to be able to continue to build that, and through recruiting and things like that, bringing in more talented athletes, and to be able to continue to build on what was already there when I came in here has been really special and really exciting.
What was to go into it a little bit deeper, what was the baseline? What was the foundation that was built that you felt like gave you the opportunity to not have to start totally from scratch?
Well, I would say two things. First of all, coming in my first year, there's a very strong group of captains that were senior captains. And actually one of them is Coach Dejan is assistant coaching with me now, which is really really exciting. And also the year prior, we were in a different athletic conference. Marywood finished runner-up, so kind of that hunger and that desire was there, and I think that's kind of what lit the fire in everybody. Like, okay, we're right there. We just got to push to that next level. So I think that was already there. It just kind of needed that little nudge to get over the edge. So
how did you nudge this cross country / track and field? How did you nudge them over the edge?
Yeah, so I mean, I think for me, kind of just coming in and instituting my philosophy, I think my philosophy is really big on teams. So for track and field, a lot of times is thought of as an individual sport, and there certainly is that element to it. Yeah. But a big area of emphasis for me is on the team aspect of it, and trying to kind of break down those barriers between the event groups and things like that. A lot of times, the event groups, they're practicing only with each other, so there's not as much interaction. So we did some things to kind of try to mix everybody up a little bit more, and so I think that was a big part of it, just kind of building a little bit more of a cohesive unit, and then just continuing to develop. I mean, the skills and the talent that was already here, and then from that point forward, building on that success through recruiting, through getting the word out about our success, and that attracts more talented athletes. So
how easier has it been? What is the recruiting trail like, knowing that 2018, 2019, 2021, and in 2020 you didn't compete? So to know that it's just consistently every year of these last three that you could compete, that you've been champions, what does that do for you in recruiting? As far as does your reputation precede you when you go out there now?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely an awareness, especially I think locally in the local area, of some of the things that we've been able to accomplish. And I think it definitely gives us a really good story to tell, and to be able to just talk about the success that we've had, but also the fact that we're not content with where we're at. We're looking to push further up and continue to grow. So like for this year, our men's cross country team was ranked 8th in the region. They achieved the number 8 ranking, which is the first time the men's team has ever been regionally ranked in the cross country program's history. So kind of looking at beyond just our conference, now what can we do in the region, and then maybe eventually nationally, where can we leave our mark on the national scene? So
where is this, when you look at men's and women's cross country and track and field here at Marywood, where are they, in your opinion, as far as how close you feel you are to making that national jump to where, the country is really getting to know what a pacer is?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a long way for us to go. I think with the core for us is here. We have a really young group. We have a really large freshman class, and we had a significant class coming in the year before as well. So in some ways, I think maybe the people to make that possible are already here. It will take some time and development down the road. So that's what kind of keeps me going and gets me up and gets me excited. To come to practice and things like that, is not just what we're doing now, but the potential for the future.
Rob Ahrens here with me, Dan Tortora here inside of Pacer Pride, our Spotlight Special, which we are spotlighting on, and it's easy to do on men's and women's cross country and track and field here at Marywood University. To dispel what some people think when we hear cross country or track and field, from the outside looking in, for those who haven't gotten involved, they're like, oh, you just run.
Right.
Bring me into kind of what you're used to hearing and what some of these myths you'd like to get rid of are.
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. I think for a lot of it is like, just run faster. Why don't you just run faster to beat the other person? So I think on the cross country side of things, what people don't really realize the amount of training that the student athletes do. Some of them are running upwards of 65, 70, 75 miles a week. And you do the math, it's more than 10 miles a day, so that's that's a lot on top of strength and conditioning work, making sure that they're sleeping well, hydrating, nutrition, all those things. There's a lot that really goes into it, and really it's kind of treating your body like a finely tuned machine and getting it ready to perform at its highest level. So from the cross country perspective, that's one side of it. From the track side of things, I think there's a lot of in terms of people's understanding of track and field, what I really there's a lot of events that people would look at and be like, that's weird. Like what's going on with that event? Like the steeplechase is one event where they're jumping over these barriers and there's a water pit and all that kind of stuff. The javelin throw is maybe one. It's you're throwing a spear kind of. So it's a really exciting. I think. What I really enjoy about track is it's almost like I've heard it compared to like a three-ring circus, right? There's always something going on. There's always kind of something different happening at the different parts, in the track and in the field, and so that really gives a really cool opportunity for people to be able to excel and find an event that works well for them, and we have all different types of athletes. Our throwers look very different than our sprinters, than our distance runners and jumpers, and it's a very diverse group, which is really it's really fun.
I remember in gym class that they made us jump hurdles.
Yeah.
And I realized something about myself that I'm very proud of. I also don't understand how I did it, where in order for me to jump a hurdle, I couldn't jump it straight on. I would jump and do a 360, land, and then do it again. So that circus part of it, I'm like, hey, maybe I got something here. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if I would preach that as proper form, but hey, if it
probably not. Yeah. It worked for me. I thought it was cool.
Right.
So for you and your history, did you have a favorite thing that you did growing up?
So I kind of came into the sport a little bit late. I started running when I was a sophomore in high school. That's when I started with cross country, and so my background is more in the distance events. That's what I grew up doing and competed in, and started coaching basically as soon as I graduated college, and then kind of learned and just really fell in love with the sport just in general, and continued to expand and grow my knowledge since then. But yeah, that was my background.
Javelin throwing sounds fantastic to me, and I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you just pick it up and throw it. But what is the technique? I mean, how would you describe the art of the javelin throw? Because it makes me think of the Florida State Seminoles, and then I think about the spear and the beginning of the game where they come out for the football game and they jam it into the ground. I'm like, this is awesome. But to think, like, if I like them just jamming it into the ground, what it would be like to see someone actually competitively throw this thing. What can you say about some of the uniqueness of track and field, one of the things being the javelin throw?
Yeah, so one of the things that I really like about the sport is it really is so much of it is based around physics, your body's biomechanics, and kind of figuring out what is the best angle or best way to translate force from one direction to another, and things like that. And thankfully, we're coming into the sport at a time when there's been a lot of research, a lot of studies, and the proper form on things have been developed, so that we can learn and then pass that along and teach. But so each event is really different, and so as a head coach, it's difficult to be an expert in all of them. So javelin throw is not something that I am an expert in. We have a couple of throws coaches that work with our throwers. But that is it's definitely it's one of the things that makes it unique. Is it's the form is so much. It's one of the most important parts of the event. In all of the events, and maintaining that proper form and being able to put the force where you want it to go. And in pretty much every event, there's that element to it. Whether it's being efficient in a distance run, or being explosive as a sprinter, being able to translate that force into the ground and jump high or long, in the jumping events, the throwing events, obviously, translating it from wherever the implement is, from your shoulder in the shot put to into the air. It's kind of all about that force production and translating that into the air or the track or wherever you're going. So,
if I sent you out right now into all of these events, rank them from your one that you would love to do, your favorite, to the last one.
Okay. So I would say probably my favorite would be the 5K, which is 5,000 meters. So on an outdoor track, that's 12 and a half laps. So for some people that sounds like torture, but that's kind of in my wheelhouse. I like that one because I was the best at it. So that was that's probably why I like that one. In terms of which one I would like to do the least, probably. The steeplechase is one of the most difficult events because that's almost 2 miles worth of running with these over hurdles, which can be very tiring. But the 800 meters is probably one of the painful in a different way. It's a blend between sprinting and distance running, so you're almost sprinting all out for 2 laps. A little bit over 2 minutes or a little bit under 2 minutes, depending on your ability. And you go from feeling great to feeling like you just want to die, like in an instant. So that's I would say, if you were to take me out to the track and tell me, which of these events would you not want to do or do the last, it would probably be the 800 because it's tough.
Shot put, javelin, different pieces of the long jump. Bring me into those. What would you? Where would those be ranked for you?
Sure. So again, those are events that I don't have a ton of. I never competed in them.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying for fun.
Sure.
Throw it out there.
Yeah.
Like those of us that think we can run a 40-yard dash after not stretching or ever doing it before,
right?
And they're like, this is a full body, like you can tear your ACL,
yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, the javelin is definitely one of the more violent events. Those are like, if you watch the javelin in the Olympics, you'll see the people. I mean, they've got their shoulders all taped up. They've got, it's definitely hard on your arm. So so that would be something I would probably be the most scared of just picking up a javelin and trying to throw it. I might hurt myself if I did that. So So in fact, I've had some athletes in the past kind of try to do that, like, I want to try javelin, and they end up hitting themselves in the back of the head or or something like that. It's definitely not it can be dangerous. So if you don't know what you're doing.
What would be your favorite if you had to choose amongst all those?
Of the throwing events? Or
the throwing events that you just love the opportunity to try.
I mean, I always thought it would be great to be a good high jumper. Just that to be able to throw your body up and get over it. Like those are really really fun events to watch when you watch a really good high jumper and just can be astounded at what they can do. Like you're looking at a bar that's 6.5, 7 feet or more, and like, boy, how can they jump over that? It's it's really impressive. So I guess if I could pick an event to just be extraordinarily gifted at, it'd probably be that one because it looks like a lot of fun.
Being the head coach in the Olympic sport world, we across the country, there's a lot of emphasis on football, there's a lot of emphasis on basketball, and the Olympic sports don't always get the love that they deserve. Then the Olympics come around and everybody's paying attention. What can you say about being the coach of an Olympic sport and why we should pay so much more focus? Because I feel like they sometimes are treated like a little brother, and obviously I don't believe that should be the case.
Right, right. Well, I think with anything, it's about the stories, right? It's about the people that are behind the events. I mean, I think that's always a good way to get invested in a sport, is learning about just the people that are involved. And on the Olympic level, I mean, you really see it as the world's sport, and there's people from all over the world that are better in some events than others, and things like that. So kind of that's something that for me, as just a fan of the sport, has really brought me into it, is just thinking, kind of getting to know the people, becoming you kind of become a fan of certain people, and maybe not so much of other people. You want to see other people lose, and and stuff like that. So it's very similar to other sports in that way. So that would be probably what I would say, is kind of really learning who the people are. And in the days of social media, that's easier than ever. You can learn a lot about somebody just from Instagram or what have you.
Distance running, as you said, was your specialty. When you look back on your history, do you have a finest moment, in your opinion?
I mean, probably one of the most exciting things, the inaugural Scranton Half Marathon. I won the first Scranton Half Marathon. I think it was 2012 or 2013. That was one of the first races that I ever won. Actually, the first road race that I ever won. So that was that was definitely exciting, and especially for it to be the first one, to be here in Scranton and stuff like that. That was pretty special.
For you, your day-to-day, as we're here with Rob Ahrens, focusing and spotlighting cross-country and track and field at Marywood University in this special edition of Pacer Pride for men's and women's side of things. As you kind of look at that day-to-day, I'm kind of looking around here. You've got an office that looks like mine in the sense of, I call it controlled chaos.
Right.
Where you have what you need, but it needs to stay in its place.
Yeah.
You have a calendar on your desk here that says April 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, bring me into how you're like planning today, but tomorrow, the next day, like just how many things have to kind of be going on in your head to be looking ahead and also trying to be present.
Yeah, so this is actually a great time to be talking about that, because this weekend we have our conference championship for cross country, so this Saturday the 30th. And then on Monday the 1st, we're starting up with track practice, but cross-country season isn't over. We have our regional meet 2 weeks after that, so there's about 2 weeks of overlap where the track team is starting up with their practice, cross-country is winding down, and so we're heading into the indoor season, which runs through about the end of February, beginning of March, and then our outdoor season goes the end of March through the beginning of May. And then the cross-country season started back at the beginning of August. So it really is kind of a year-round type of thing. I mean, the summer I get a little bit of time in the summer, but other than that, from August through pretty much May, we're in season in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it very much is like, okay, what are we doing in practice today? What do we have going on next week? And then what do we have going on next season? And making sure that everything is falling into place. So,
what do you love about being a head coach first, and secondly, why did you choose Marywood?
Yeah, the first one is really my first question is something I'm very passionate about. I actually, coming into Marywood, prior to starting at Marywood, I coached high school for 9 years. I loved coaching. I was looking for an opportunity to do it full time, but I wasn't really sure if I would like college coaching. And I really liked the high school, middle school age group, and kind of introducing people to the sport and seeing them develop and grow in that way. I just fell in love with the opportunity to interact with, influence students in a time that's really critical and really just formative in their lives, and to be able to have that meaningful interaction on a day-to-day basis. It really is a lot more. There's a lot more involved than I realized, and there's as the students are making their way, practicing their independence, stretching their wings and things like that. You'd be surprised the things that come your way, and where you can step in and guide and mentor, and so as a head coach, that really is the most passionate thing that that I enjoy. I love the sport. I love finding success and things like that. But it really is about kind of leaving that influence or leaving that impact, having that influence in people's lives. So in terms of Marywood, what brought me to Marywood? So I was coaching locally at a high school for a little while. I was not super familiar with Marywood, but I did know the coach who was here at the time, and we worked together on some things. And so when he moved on, he kind of recommended, hey, you should think about doing this. And boy, I didn't realize just how much of a hidden gem, it is here at Marywood. And there was a few times that I had come up on the campus, but prior to that, but not super often. And so just coming up here and kind of taking a look around and seeing, the beauty of the campus, the facilities, the opportunities that are available here, I was really, really excited for the opportunity.
And being here at Marywood University, hindsight 2020, what has it taught you about yourself? How has Marywood brought out the best Rob Ahrens at this point? Do you feel like we're getting your best?
So it definitely, I think what it brought out was that ability to kind of change and adapt. So as my, this was my first head coaching experience at the collegiate level. I was learning a lot on the fly, learning a lot about NCAA and kind of just the different world of collegiate athletics and things like that. So I feel like I've come a long way in that. I think there definitely is still a lot that I have to learn and a lot of things that I can continue to improve at, related to that, because this is my fourth year, so I'm still relatively new to the NCAA, but definitely getting the hang of it more and more every year. So.
Pun totally intended.
Yeah.
You hit the ground running.
Yeah.
As we talked about 2018, 19, 21, not competing in 2020. How do you stay so consistent? I know that obviously, if you have talent that's going to be with you for a few years and they're good as freshmen and they continue to improve, then that makes sense. But how do you build a consistent competitor where you're not just doing your job, but in your conference, you're holding your own and you're representing the conference? I mean, you've become synonymous with the Atlantic East Championship moniker. How do you do that?
Well, actually, I think you kind of answered the question in your question, because consistency is something that we preach, every day. It's in our sport, it's super important because the training, the consistent hard work, is really what determines how far you can go. You have that natural talent and ability that can take you a certain way, but especially at this level, when you get to the collegiate level, the amount of work that you put in and the consistency with which you put that work in is really what determines whether or not you can reach your potential. So it really is that day in, day out training, lifting, making sure that we're taking care of the little things to stay healthy. It's consistency that helps us stay consistent. So yeah. I don't know if that's a good way to answer the question, but it really is.
Yeah, consistently good, but not occasionally great. I've been hearing that a lot lately. Yeah. 2019, it's up here as well. Coach of the Year in the Atlantic East for women's track and field and men's track and field. What it means to you that this is your first collegiate experience of being a head coach, and you've already been honored as the Coach of the Year in both the men's world and the women's world.
Yeah, it's definitely humbling. I think to have that honor and recognition. Certainly, actually, they've recently changed the award to Coaching Staff of the Year, which is a lot more appropriate because, especially with all the events that I oversee in track and field, it takes a lot more than just me. So to be able to make use of the wonderful assistants that we have.
Can we shout them out?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned before.
Sure. So we have Coach Borelli. He's one of our longtime assistants. He's been there for a long time. He was actually over the cross country program before they added track. So he's kind of my right hand man in the cross country realm. But we do have a number of other coaches that work with track. Coach Dejan, I mentioned already, was a former student athlete here. Coach Mariah is our throws coach, and we actually have a couple of other assistants that help with throws as well. Coach Marley is one of the other throws coaches. Coach Carl works with us as well, and we're in the process of actually adding a couple more as well. So we've got definitely a deep staff, and a lot of things covered. So it's exciting.
2020, a lot of people feel like something was stolen from them, not competing. And based on, like I had said at the beginning, at the onset of our conversation, that we would just have at least a couple more banners in here. How did you navigate 2020? You're a leader, you're a coach, so by definition, they're going to come to you. Nobody had answers. So in a time of more questions, not a lot of answers, how did you deal with being away from a sport that you love, and at the same time seeing these kids have to go through something that you never went through, which is, they have eligibility, and not knowing what's going to happen. And some of these young men and women are finishing up their time in college, and they don't have a tomorrow. So how did you navigate 2020?
Yeah, that's a good question. It certainly was something that was obviously took everybody by surprise. There's no way to prepare for something like that, right?
Yeah.
So we did as much as we could to try to help keep everyone connected. I think that was a big point for us, and just doing some things together, obviously virtually. Trying to encourage people to stay motivated with their training. Not really knowing were we going to have a fall season, or what was going to happen. Even over the summer. And kind of keeping that in mind. But I think probably the biggest thing that we spent time talking about was using that as an opportunity to really examine our identity.
Yeah.
So often, and I mean, I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else. We have the opportunity to define ourselves with what we do, and so as an athlete, as a coach. When those things are taken away, it can be very, it can kind of leave you directionless, kind of purposeless, and things like that. So we did, that was one of the things that we spent some time talking about, and just encouraging the student athletes to think about is, where do you find your identity, and no matter what you're looking for, it needs to be in more than just as an athlete. There's just kind of looking a little bit deeper, which I think was definitely a beneficial exercise for me, and hopefully for everyone else as well.
As you feel like you got to know these men and women a lot better, jumping into that world of like, what else are you?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. There's, it's cool. Again, that's one of the things I enjoy about is that interaction, and seeing even when you see on Zoom and you see you get to meet some of these. We're in a big Zoom gathering, get together or whatever, and you see somebody's dog or the cat walk through, or their parents or siblings, so even that kind of thing kind of helps you to just get to know somebody in a different way.
Well, in the spirit of that, we do something on my show, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, called Rapid Fire.
Okay.
And with that being what it is, it's quick questions that have nothing to do with the sporting world. And it gives us an opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. So as you practice that exercise with your team, it's something that we practiced on the show for a while.
Okay.
And so with that being what it is, I'm going to throw a few things at you. And then in the spirit of fairness, you can throw whatever you want back at me. It doesn't have to be the same.
Okay.
So we're going to go 3 and 3 with Rob Ahrens here as we spotlight men's and women's cross country and track and field here at Marywood University, multiple time champions in the Atlantic East. I will defer to you and let you ask the first question.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. I always like this one. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay.
I gotta pick that.
Yeah.
Because I love cookie dough, and they tell you that you're not supposed to eat it when you make it, but then they throw it in ice cream and you can eat it then. So.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. So
okay,
we're on the same page there.
Fair enough. One restaurant in Northeast PA that you have to go to. This place could never ever close.
Okay, so it's recently opened. It's just up the street from Marywood. It's called Henry's on Clay.
Okay.
So really good. It's like a brunch lunch spot. So it's really it's delicious. So I'm there pretty frequently. So
my 1B to that what do you order?
Okay, there's a breakfast burrito. That's my favorite thing. They put a chorizo gravy over top of it, and it's really good.
Breakfast burrito from Henry's on Clay.
Yeah.
All right. If we say it one more time, they have to become a partner. What's your next one for?
Let's see here. How about your favorite sport growing up?
I would have to say, I mean, it's the thing that I could shut my brain off when I play. I did play it. I was actually recruited here, called by the coach at the time, Eric Grunman. I'm 5'8", but I can shoot.
Okay.
So I was like, I know D1's not going to be my thing, but basketball.
Okay.
Basketball
Cool.
for sure.
Awesome.
And I can live in that world and kind of just shut everything off and play. And if I'm upset, I can play. If I'm happy, I can play. It's kind of, I could just go do my thing.
Yeah.
What movie could you watch on repeat for the rest of your life?
Ooh, that's an easy one. So, Cool Runnings. Have you ever heard of
Love
Cool Runnings?
yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit of an older movie. I might be dating myself a little bit.
Disney
there, but-
movie. Yeah. It's on Disney Plus, so watch it if you haven't
there
seen
you go.
it.
I didn't know that, but yeah, I've watched that movie 1,000 times. It kind of was a nice blend of the sprinting with kind of the funny side of things and stuff like that. So yeah,
I think it's first time I've ever heard that somebody's picked that, but I love it because personally, anybody that knows me is laughing watching this video right now, fully understanding the fact that I have said to this day and my whole life that if I was ever in the Olympics, I'd want to be a bobsledder, and not just any bobsledder. I would want to be on the Jamaican bobsled team.
There you go.
So I'm sorry, America, but I'd have to be on the Jamaican bobsled team with. And I actually, it's funny because like I just did this like a couple weeks ago. I think I did it last week where I had the cart in the super. I had it in the parking lot, and I was like, feel the rhythm. And so like and if people get it, they get it. You know,
Right.
I got to kiss my lucky egg. But something about that movie, that made my
very
day.
quotable. That's for sure. Yeah.
What's your last one?
Okay, I would say the last one would be maybe get a little sentimental here, but maybe a favorite memory from your time here at Marywood.
I would say, gosh, there's so many. I would say the day that I got Enrico Mastriani and Tara Machado at the time called me and asked me to be the keynote speaker for their tip-off dinner. And when they asked me to do that, they had said, hey, listen, and you know, what you do with MU Courtside, creating the program that is still here for men's and women's basketball for broadcasting. You know, they said for what you did and what you've given to us, we want to honor that. And I never thought that would happen. There were a lot of things that happened, unfortunately, behind the scenes that tried to kind of take away what I had built with my blood, sweat, and tears. And to have that given back to me by a coach that was here when I was here with Tara, and a coach that didn't even know me in Enrico. When Enrico asked me to do it, I said, I think you've mistaken. I was like, Bob Costas is a keynote speaker. I don't think I deserve that.
Yeah.
And it was one of the greatest moments of my life. And my dog, Lily, got to come to the end of it, which was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, to come full circle almost a decade later and have Marywood say, hey, we didn't forget about what you did. And no matter who tried to take credit for it or whatever, like, this was your baby.
Right.
Like it was almost like they were saying, we've raised her, here she is.
Right.
You know, and it just, I never thought I'd have the moment, so it meant a lot to me.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question. My last one for you, will stay sentimental,
Okay.
is who would you consider to be the biggest inspiration of your life, and what would be one quote from them that can always get you out of a funk?
Okay. That is a good question. The first, since it's rapid fire, I'm just going to give you the first thing that jumped to my mind, which is kind of a little known fact about myself. I actually spent 9 years practicing martial arts.
Okay.
So
awesome.
my Sensei Stubert, was just a great inspiration for me. I think he taught me a lot about discipline, focus, things like that. I am trying to think of I would say probably a quote that, I mean, always kind of got me laughing. I don't know if it would get me out of a funk, but he would always say, there's no sorry in karate, only oops.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I'm sure there's maybe a more like deeper level you could take to that, but but no, I mean, he was, in terms of, you know, where I just learned about athletics and you know, obviously a little bit off the beaten path in terms of, you know, where most people start, like just the building blocks for, you know, for who I am as a you know, both athletically and, you know, as a person. I think we're definitely formed there. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that,
Yeah.
that you have a sensei. Very cool.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the spotlight here with us on Rob Ahrens and the men's and women's cross country and track and field teams here at Marywood University. Multiple time champions with the Atlantic East. You're looking at the coach of the year here in very recent history, and very proud to see 2021. Not only that there's banners here, but that you're competing again and that you're back on the track and field and in the cross-country world. So for Rob Ahrens, this is a special edition of Pacer Pride, exclusively here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and our multimedia marketing partnership and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. In connection with that, I want to thank everyone in the community for being a part of today's broadcast. Make sure you get the word out about Marywood. Every little bit helps, and if it means anything to you, what you've done with being a Pacer and what I have worked to do in remembering and coming back here, Marywood University sticks with you forever. And the student athletes, the students in general, the faculty, the people that are on this campus can truly, truly make a difference that lasts a lifetime. So thank you, Rob, for the difference you make.
Yeah, my pleasure. I would like to just one last thing. As we're talking here, and it could be a little hard to focus. There's a couple of our other coaches that I want to make sure that I mention. So
Okay.
Coach Lauren works with our hurdlers and our sprinters as well. She's been with me actually almost since the time that I started, and is a really great influence, and you know, does a great job with that group. And then we did add another, actually, of our former student athletes, David Haynes, who was a national qualifier in cross country, 2-time national qualifier, and has a lot of individual accolades himself. He's joined our staff as a volunteer this year. So I just want to make sure I shout them out as well. So
Yeah, and as we spotlight, no, absolutely, as we spotlight men's and women's cross country and track and field here at Marywood University in this edition of Pacer Pride, as you said, not just the coach of the year, but the staff of the year.
Right.
So very important and fitting we end that way.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpazsnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the Southern Tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out to the Millhouse Market today and every Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. for their indoor dining, their general store with local products from local companies like soaps as well as children's toys, jewelry, syrups, honeys, so many amazing things from the community of Pulaski, New York, and the surrounding central and upstate New York, wonderful towns and cities. So make sure you come out to 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York today for the general store, the indoor dining, as well as the drive-up, pick-up window. Grab your food and go. Download the Millhouse Market app today to get their homemade breads, salads, quinoa bowls, rice bowls, as well as their brick oven pizzas, their desserts, and their sandwiches named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski. All in one place, all on one app, contactless pay, and you can have a map bringing you from wherever you are to the Millhouse Market, all easily right there on the Millhouse Market app on the Apple app or Google Play Store. Download it, pick your favorites, head out to the Millhouse Market, and support local today at 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive, absolutely every single time. Back here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, hanging out with you. Want to give a special thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Want to give a thanks to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for the wonderful lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And a big shout out to Juanita Ward in her return. And obviously, prayers and hopes to her family right now. And God bless each and every single one of them. Big shout out to Evan Dourdas, the Manlius Pebble Hill boys varsity basketball coach, named early October. And we get to celebrate him as the top dog of the week this week. Proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Campground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. The only place to bring your dog for short and long-term care. And of course, Marywood University for an all-new Pacer Pride episode. This time, spotlighting men's and women's cross country and track and field with their head coach, Rob Ahrens, a multi-time champion inside of the Atlantic East Conference. So, big shout out to Marywood, to the Atlantic East, to all of you, and of course to Carvel DeWitt, to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, as well as K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Make your way out to Chick-fil-A starting November 1st as my favorite peppermint chip milkshake comes back. I will be in line. Do not cut in front of me. I'll see you all there. Make sure you're watching and listening to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT. Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. And on WakeUpCallDT.com. After it goes live, go off to the archives and search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, and iHeartRadio, as well as more places, more avenues, the RSS feed, of course. Go to any one of these beautiful places and search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Thank you to our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Progressive Dental, Mom and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicoli's, K9 Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, K9 Campground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Lemoyne Dolphins, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, PB&J's Lunchbox, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. Make sure you make your way over to Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics today. For any injury, head to toe, 791 West Genesee Street in Skinny Atlas. You can call them at 315-685-7544. And I implore you to stay very close to our social media at Wake Up Call DT on Facebook, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT, as I'll be airing 2 new specials featuring one of the student athletes in our community of Central and Upstate New York and Dr. Mark Petropoli on ACLs, which you should definitely pay attention to, and it'll be on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So make sure you stay close to our social media to find out when those victory specials are coming up here today on Friday, October 29th. And a special thanks to Lemoyne. Fins up all day, day. Find your way to the Lemoyne Dolphins website, LemoyneDolphins.com. Get all the information that you need. Of course, you can go to the wakeupcalldt.com Lemoyne tab. Click on that and get all of our video archive of AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT. And, of course, you could find our Dolphin Dive specials with the student athletes of Lemoyne College. So check all of that out today on our Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also go get all of our Lemoyne videos by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And you can get the composite schedule for Lemoyne on our Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. So go to wakeupcalldt.com, subscribe, bookmark free, and click on the Lemoyne tab. Get all the videos, get the composite schedule, everything there, and find out more at LemoyneDolphins.com. Pacer Pride in full effect. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of the Marywood Pacers at Marywood University. Find out more by going to MarywoodPacers.com, and of course, go to the Marywood Pacers tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. Go to WakeUpCallDT.com, click subscribe, bookmark our website, and click on that Marywood tab at the top of the page, and all of our videos will be there for you. More getting added this week. And we look forward to seeing you there at Marywood University this weekend, as for the first time ever, I will be the MC of the Marywood men's basketball tip-off dinner. I will MC and be your host for the entire night, as well as running their second ever historical media day for Marywood men's basketball. I got to run the first one. I got to be a keynote speaker at this tip-off dinner, and now I get to run the second media day in hand, coinciding with me emceeing the event for the first time ever. Big shout out to Marywood University. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I cannot wait to be a part of this. So shout out to the Pacers, Pacer Pride, and shout out to Marywood for all of their sports. Get their composite schedule by going to wakeupcalldt.com and clicking on Marywood. The schedule will be right there for you for all of their sporting events. And I'll be there this weekend with some Pacer Pride in full effect at the Marywood tip-off dinner. Excited to be there and excited to share that with you. So a lot of great stuff. Big shout out to Rob Ahrens for our special today, and thanks to Marywood University. With that being said, folks, I hope you have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I hope that you have a great time and a very happy and safe Halloween. Greg wants to know, does Lily have a costume this year? Yes, she will. I'm going to figure it out. We're going to make sure Lily decked out the right way, so we'll have some fun with it. Thanks to all of you. Happy Halloween. Please be safe. Enjoy the Syracuse football game. And thank you to Marywood University for giving me the opportunity to be your MC, as well as running your second ever media day for men's basketball. Thank you to all of my beautiful, wonderful companies here in Central and Upstate New York. Thank you to Marywood University for making us your multimedia marketing partner for Pacers Athletics. Thank you to Lemoyne College for making us your multimedia marketing partner for the Dolphins Athletics. Thank you for all that is to come. Thank you to the amazing people in my life. Thank you to God above all. Thank you to my loved ones. Thank you to my wonderful girlfriend, my fantastic family, and all my friends that I consider a part of my family as well. Big shout out to the best of the best, Evan and Ross, Rob and company. And I hope you all have a great day. Please be safe. To my nieces and nephews, happy Halloween. Your boy's got a costume. I'm going to be decked out on Sunday. I hope you are too. Have yourselves a fantastic, fantastic day and weekend. And as always, God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon. Be good.